It's Deprogrammed, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. Today's band is Train. My name is Justin, and I don't know if you guys know this, but hard work does indeed work. I'm excited because I have this app now, and for $10 a month, I get workouts sent directly to me, 3 workouts a week, customized to me and what I have available in my house. So right now, I don't have any weights. I don't have any workout equipment. It's all body weight.
They don't suggest using a milk jug full of sand pebbles or something?
Well, Joe might do that if I asked him to, but he's like, hey, you've got body weight, use your body weight. And that's what I'm doing. So hopefully this week I can get off my keister and start working out.
But doesn't using body weight produce diminishing returns?
Mm-mm.
Well, the lighter you get, the less weight you've got.
Well, that's also true. But this is the year. I lost the weight last year. I want to shed a little bit more weight this year, and I'm going to attempt to actually get into shape. And Joe is the man to help me get that done. You can now get the Hard Work Works fitness app in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, depending on what you got. And like I said, $10 a month. You can there's no commitment. Cancel at any time. If you cancel, keep all the workouts that have already been sent to you. $10 a month. You have a personal trainer right there in your phone, and he will show you how to do all the workouts too. Normally I have a read where I actually read it right. I'm just kind of telling everything as it comes to my dumb brain. Mm-hmm. So I'm not doing it very well, Joe. I'm sorry.
It sounds like Planet Fitness, but the only judgment zone you get is when your cat walks into the kitchen and goes, "What the hell are you doing with those potatoes?"
Hard Work Works fitness app, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime, or just do the damn workouts. Get yourself in the best shape of your life. # join the hustle, and Joe will give you a hug, because he's a good dude like that. So we're talking about Train today. And actually, so let's start here. James, first of all, it's the first time you've been on the show since the Fredo Sessions.
Since the Fredo Sessions, Volume 1.
Yes. So it's been a long time.
Yes.
But you put Train out there well before
3
Fredo
years
Sessions.
ago.
Yeah, a long, long time ago.
Back when Corey and I were still doing Piss Sports, Piss Radio, back when I was jobless and I would still scrape up gas money to drive to Matt's Little Shack and do shows under Christmas lights in 15-degree weather, freezing my keister off.
Who would have guessed we'd ever miss something like that?
Oh, dude, I tell you what, my on my computer at home every Thursday at 9:00. Mm-hmm. It still dings me with a reminder that I have a show at 10.
Oh, that hurts.
And oh, it does, because Corey and I he got married, and I got a job with the school, and I'm now coaching the varsity soccer team that I used to play for, and he and I just moved up with life. Mm-hmm. But every time that we talk, it's we want to get back on the show, because he got some stuff, and then it never worked out because he had bills to pay, and then he got a new job with the government, and he became this big shot, and I was like, oh, this guy, hold on, who hired him? So life took us different directions from the show, but it's something every week I'm just I really wish that we kept doing that. And so being back today is awesome. I'm super stoked for running down this list on a band that I've been listening to since I was 10.
So the person who finally got Train off the schneid is making their triumphant return to the show. Jody,
I'm back?
You went from being on every other week.
Yeah, threatening to set up a cot and everything.
And it's been 3 months. Well, now, in fairness, I kind of took you out of rotation because you're going through a move.
Yeah, I went somewhere. Where'd I go? Oh, that's right. I left here.
Yeah, you left here for a little while.
And then...
But you jumped... Now, Train has been actually sitting on the shelf probably for a good 7... I think Train was one of the first bands you actually did say, I'll do that.
Yeah, well, okay, my Train's been sitting on the shelf for 30 years now. But aside from that, yeah, actually it was one of the first ones.
And Now, then you can thank me for this. I mean, and I mean that in a very negative way because I just kept pushing Train off, pushing Train off. Well, and then initially, James, you had said you wanted your mom in on this episode.
I did. She's a huge Choo Choo fan. She was the one who got me into the band, and growing up, we listened to Train together in the car, and I've been to probably 5 Train concerts, shaken Pat Monahan's hand several times. Yeah, she wanted in bad. And then,
I'm sorry, James's mom.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry.
So am I. I told her, she could come today, but she had something going on, and it was one of those things. Also, she's got to work tomorrow, and she works too much as it is. So I was like, ugh, I'm not gonna throw that on you at the last minute.
Yeah. Now, talk to me about Train. Now, initially, until I actually listened to the band, this was one of those ones. System was the one that like really threw me off.
Right.
Like I was like, well, dude, Jody's into System. I don't know why, but most of the other ones not necessarily fit a mold, but like I can make sense of it.
Right.
And then Train initially didn't make sense to me. I couldn't put the 2 and 2 together. So talk to me about your relationship with Train.
All right. Well, I suppose that I already knew about Meet Virginia because I was, especially being in Virginia, it was everywhere. But I didn't really get into Train until the girl that at the time I was in a long distance relationship with moved here, and she was like obsessed.
Oh.
There was like 6 artists that were like her constant rotation, and Train was one of those 6. And that was when I got to realize that Train was more than Meet Virginia. And so even after she and I split up, I just like, okay, this is there. And I had songs in my music collection. I listened. And so when new albums came out, it's like, hey, let's see what they're doing. Let's see what they're doing. And every time I went to, let's see what they're doing, it's like, oh shit, they're doing this thing now. But they're still doing all the other stuff. But then they've added this thing now. And it's like, oh, so I could just play their stuff and get a wide selection of songs. And it was like, yeah, that they don't have a thing. Their thing is just being energetic and singing about what matters to them at the moment.
So you said it right there, energetic. That is something I did not realize Train had. I spent most of my time here with Train is basically discovery for me, other than, the radio hits, and I'm sure we'll talk plenty about those. But I guess I just assumed that they were not even Meet Virginia. Like I thought they were going to be all Hey Soul Sister and and play that song, and I thought that's what I was getting into here. And I spent the better part of my first half of going through Train just reprogramming my brain to what this band actually is. And so then once I realized, okay, so they're not quite like Nickelback, where I had a very negative connotation with Nickelback.
Sure. Where
Train, it was just kind of like they're just this band.
Yep.
And they play these lame pop tunes that I don't give a crap about.
They have an underlying note to, I'd say, 80% of their music. And a lot of their poppy hits falls into the other 20%. There are grunge elements to this band. There are folk and blues elements to this band. There are not pop country like what's normalized today, but more bluesy country type notes to this band. The musicianship is fantastic. I put them on par with the Goo Goo Dolls as far as their musicianship and the sounds that they create and the different elements and emotions that they make you go through and feel. Their radio stuff, their radio sad stuff is generic radio pop sad, but their actual heavy hitters, their actual songs that take you down and then bring you up, it takes you through a range of emotions that doesn't quite, it just doesn't quite feel like any other band And for me, I listening to them growing up throughout like my teenage years, it's a speak to me thing.
Okay.
And it really resonates with, they have a song on, especially their like first 3-4 albums, they have a song for every situation that you could be going through, and it's not something that you will hear on the radio.
Now, he mentioned emotions. Jody, we follow each other on the Twitter. I don't know if you know that.
Do we? Whoa.
But I saw you sent out a tweet. I didn't reply to it because I
Yeah.
wanted to save it for the conversation. But I saw you said you were going through the Train discography and you were all up in your feels.
Well, like I said, it was a former partner that really brought me into it. And because their music was in constant rotation, there was a lot of our relationship that I directly associate with their music. So
This
it
was
was kind of like a mixed bag reliving between the long distance part and the living together part, 7-year relationship.
oof.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So Jody might be a little emotional today. We'll find out, won't we?
That's
so,
okay.
It being the first time since Crew is the last band you did, right? At the Fredo sessions.
Yeah, I was a part of Crew, and what else was I a part of?
You weren't on the Faded Def Leppard.
No, I was in the background laughing my ass off and wondering why Justin was trying to throw a chair through the window.
But so what all did we do that day? Iron Maiden, Crew, Leopard, and Alice Cooper.
Okay, I wasn't a part of any of the other ones.
You made the trip just for the one band.
I made because Corey was a part of 3 of those.
Yes.
So, and it was like, all right, well, let's make a bros trip together.
It was fun.
It was a ton of fun.
But that stark contrast from Crew being the last one, and actually before Crew it was Paramore. So you went from Paramore to Crew, and now the next
Train.
one is Train.
I'm eclectic.
What was it? Walk me through going back through and pulling out a 20 list for this.
This was in some ways easy, in some ways difficult. As it always is, pulling a 20. There are songs where you go yes, there are songs where you go no. Then there are songs where you go, but I like that one, but will it get pushed? Will it get the call? And I'm just like a lot of bands. I'm much more early stuff.
Okay.
I'm the first 3 albums, fantastic. As I started getting into the later stuff, it's when I started not listening to Train because there was too much poppy stuff on the radio, and I was just like, and I didn't really feel the rest of their stuff on the album. So it's one of those, this is a little bit more nostalgia to me. I feel like I have a theme with when it comes to this game. I'm very nostalgic when it comes to my music. It's what I grew up listening to, and then unless it's a band like Paramore, and Paramore was just all across the board. There were tunes. There were at least 6 songs on every single album that you're like, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Oh my, I have 30
With the quickness.
Yeah.
So very meticulous every time you come on the show, Jody. Was that the case this time?
For this time, really, the large problem I had, and I failed in a lot of this, and
geez.
I think it's going to. There will be probably glances from the other side of the table because, given my exposure, a lot of my early exposure was the radio stuff.
Okay.
And because of my connections, a lot of that radio stuff made it in.
Sure.
So there was a lot of forcing myself to push out radio stuff to bring in other stuff that needs to be there. It's like, but that song was when we went and we did the, and that's, but I don't want to cut, but there's stronger stuff, but I have, So yeah, which is when I sent that tweet.
Ah, gotcha. So for me, James already kind of alluded to this. I will say this about Train. there weren't very many easy outs. There was not very much that I was like, no, nope. Most of the stuff actually stood a chance of making the 20, which when I'm being introduced to a band, that says a lot.
That really, especially for you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic for Train.
Right, especially considering I thought that this was just going to be, I'm going to just be over here in the corner going, this garbage song, like
like you normally do.
Yeah, I'm kind of an asshole. I don't know if you people know this.
Really?
So my first pass was rough. Now the second pass, I realized that I was going between what I think Train does and the stuff that surprised me that they do, and also trying to disprove my theory of Train, essentially.
Okay.
So, I mean, I ended up in the second pass getting rid of a lot of the stuff that was just disproving my theory. Even though I thought it was great stuff, I feel like I was putting too much of my own, thoughts of, rather than thinking about this is what the band does well.
Yeah.
And, I felt like some of those occasions I might have been sticking my neck out too far.
Train's a weird band, and I really figured this out going through the discography. They're a very strange band in that they have a lot of A and B hits. Like if we're rating like grade school, A, B, C, D, F.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of A plus B plus hits. They have some B songs that everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that Meet Virginia is actually one of those B songs now.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much when it first came out, but now, because when it comes on the radio, you're like, oh, hey, if you're with somebody who doesn't really know Train, they're like, hey, I know that song. And it's like, yeah, duh, they came out with it in 2000.
Yeah.
But they never go below, I'll say, a C. A lot of their tunes, especially on just a lot of their albums, they're like B minus C plus songs, and they don't necessarily all sound the same, but there are similarities, and they're just quality, and they very, very, very rarely dip below a C for me, except on like two poppy ones that I'm just like, no, no, please, not that one.
So, what do you think, Jody? Do I have first of all, does James have a fair assessment there? Do you think?
Yeah. There are about 3 or 4 songs that I could just leave, but even then, if they're playing, I'm not necessarily going to reach to change it.
Yeah.
But I'll never cue them up.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Oh yeah, I'm. Not to steer the conversation, but that's Hanson with me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a Hanson fan.
Oh crap. Oh crap.
No, fair enough.
I still remember looking at you that one time when you were like, man, Hanson's one of my favorites. And I went, what?
How dare you? How dare you? Do not put words into my mouth. I never, ever said such a thing. My wife would love to hear you say that, though, about me, because it's just untrue. All right, so the name of the game is Deprogrammed, and the three of us have each combed through, what did we decide? It was 8 records? 8 records, and we've each pulled out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you to listen to get into Train, because this is definitely one of those bands where when I asked the question, got a lot of nuns, which, for the record, is not helpful to the conversation at all.
No.
Except for in this manner where I can say, hey, you didn't really help us. But it does give me a sense of what people think of the band. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start here. I don't know that this is necessarily their best song. And at this point, it's no longer their most known song. I thought I hated this song. I swear to God, I thought I hated this song.
Uh-huh.
But I don't. It's really good. Meet Virginia.
Okay. That's literally at the top of my list.
It is in my number 4 position.
All right, so it's in. Again, like I had these preconceptions of this band,
Yep.
and I was like, oh, that maybe their deeper cuts are good, but like,
Yeah.
I saw Meet Virginia. I saw, oh God, it's the name of the album too. Oh God, this is gonna be garbage, and I'm like, what?
That
It's not
bass
trash?
line when they come in with it is just.
I mentioned, I may have mentioned, my mom was a huge fan of Train too, and so when they started popping up around here, and I think that was part of it. Like maybe it's hipster. Like she saw them when they're first coming up.
Sure.
They played like Mill Point Park in Hampton.
Yep.
And she was like fired up about that.
They always play the Intellis Pavilion too. They rarely ever play like when they were smaller. They rarely ever played the amphitheater, but they would always play the Pavilion in Portsmouth. Always.
And it's just like, I appreciate a band who. I hate to bring up Hanson the second time already, but Hanson played Bay Days in like '99 or something.
Yep.
Like, I can appreciate that a band on the way up, or really has solidified themselves playing a smaller stage. I can dig that.
Yeah, I saw them at Town Point Park.
See, it's just cool,
Just
right?
It was like one of their, hey, it's the middle of summer. Norfolk wants to do a thing. Let's have a band. Train was there. And like, well, shit.
Yep.
I have that same relationship with Jimmy's Chicken Shack, but that's a conversation for a different day. But hey, Meet Virginia.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
And I think that song too is just, it's one of those songs. It's about a quirky girl, and everybody knows a quirky girl.
Yeah.
And most men have dated at least one quirky girl.
I may have married one.
and that's the thing is in this time, honestly, quirky girls are the best. Because there's something about having quirks, because everybody has them.
Everybody has them. It's just, why bother hiding them?
Exactly.
And that's what's great.
It kind of is like a mini like acceptance song. It's like, hey, you're a little strange, but that's okay because so am I. Let's do the thing.
All right. Well, I don't feel so bad. We got one in. Let's see if we can keep it going there. And by the way, everybody unanimously on the listeners also said Meet Virginia. So
Okay.
that one's.
Yay.
James, what you got?
I'm gonna stay on that album. I'm gonna save that one for later because it's a little farther down. I'm gonna go Free.
I got it.
That would be a no.
Okay.
Really?
Makes the conversation, though. That was one of the songs that I was truly shocked.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Because I feel like a lot of the other song, like, I don't want to say a lot of, because I don't think it's too deep in the album, but it's...
Third song on.
Okay, so like, it just hits right off the top. And I was like, what? They can do that?
Yep, they can do the thing. And
I was like, oh.
And his vocal range is just stupid. Just stupid. So it's one of those things where you get a little bit into little bit grungy, little bit dirty, and a little bit, there's something freeing about this band. And that, wow, I just realized what I did there.
Hey, nice job.
Hey, no, there really is a
Radio
lot of their
101.
imagery is drop top convertibles.
Okay. Yeah.
And this band is a band that you just listen to with the windows open, sun shining, and it's a Sunday afternoon and you just don't give a damn. You're just on the way to do something. You don't know where you're going, but you don't really care.
Yeah.
You're just free.
Aptly.
Absolutely. That was on
Aptly.
purpose.
So it moves to the conversation. We don't get the unanimous, but it moves to the conversation.
Cool.
All right, Jody.
Alrighty.
Get back into the swing, eh?
Yeah, well, here, I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's going to be one of those, it was a radio hit and is Deep Connection, so,
Bear that in
hurt
mind.
myself. Gonna hurt myself.
Never the good idea to lead with that one, but
Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. So, Drops of Jupiter.
I don't have it.
I didn't think you were going to.
I do.
All right.
That was my favorite song to sing when I was a kid.
Mm.
My favorite one.
Now, I'll say this. I thought for sure, yet again, that was going to be a song that I absolutely hated.
Nope.
And I don't. I really don't. Now, obviously, it wasn't strong enough for me to pull through to my 20, but it made my first cut.
Yep.
And it was one of the harder ones to drop.
That's Meet Virginia is the one, and everybody knows Train from. They're like, oh yeah, that's that one band. Drops of Jupiter is the song that everybody knows is Train.
Yes. Yeah. 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 And I think that kind of played into my thought process too. Was like, I think less people know Meet Virginia as Train than Drops of Jupiter as Train.
So you're going more from the starter kit of get to know the band versus you already know the band.
Right.
Fair.
So, but I'll say again, Drops of Jupiter, actually, really good song, and I'm glad that I don't hate it anymore. So, and it's still in conversation, so it's not in the trash.
Justin is growing.
I'm trying to anyway.
You're trying to shrink.
I listened
Justin.
to that too. I listened to Alabama for all you folks. I hope you all appreciate that. Oh, that was mean. Alabama was fine. There was nothing wrong with Alabama. All right. I really, this may have been my favorite tune that I came across. And again, I think I'm with James. I like the first 3 records a great deal. Everything after that was kind of not hit or miss, just like I found everything I needed in those first couple of records.
Right.
Respect. Oh, wow.
No, that did not make it.
That was one of my last cuts.
You know what's funny, though, is I went out on the limb and saying that I thought it was probably my favorite. That's what I get. I should have known.
What you get.
I should have known.
That was that hurts me so bad to not have that on my list.
Well, it has that shock factor of I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah.
And then to have just, respect just in general is always going to be like a something I'm going to be drawn to as a theme.
Was that My Private Nation or was that?
So that's Drops of Jupiter.
That is Drops. Okay. The reason that I dropped it is because there's another song later on in that album that I feel does better for representing Train than that song. It's because I had Train, their original album, or their first album, their self-titled Train. I had 6, and then from Drops of Jupiter I had 7, and I cut Respect and one other from. I cut one from each to fit my last 2 from Save Me San Francisco album. So it was like, that hurts a lot.
Well, somebody has to get the first one in the trash. Might as well be me. All right, James.
I'm gonna go with one that I think you might have, Justin.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna stay on the Train album again, the self-titled album. Idaho.
No. Idaho, first of all.
Ooh.
Hey-o.
I mean, yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
True.
Get paid how you get paid.
I'll tell you why I cut it. I thought I was doing my own thing there. Because, no, absolutely. I loved Idaho.
Oh, man.
I loved Idaho, but I thought I was trying to prove they weren't what I thought they were.
So it got the boot.
Yep.
Damn you, trash man.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, I didn't have that one
See?
either. Did not make it.
At least I'm not the only one.
Fair.
And now Justin starts to sweat because...
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh, we do. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to sweat. All right, Jody.
Well, it's because you're wearing 2 shirts, Justin.
I am wearing 2 shirts.
And we're upstairs. Heat rises, man. Get with the program.
I know. It was cold at work today. Sorry.
On a segue, if we really think about it, shouldn't heaven be the hot place and hell be the cold place?
Yeah, actually, there was, I remember that was like 10, 15 years ago, some engineering students or something was like wrote this paper explaining how
heaven's actually hot.
Yeah, that if you take everything that's known about, talked about, written about these 2 places, heaven would be like super hot and hell would be like a balmy 72 or something.
It's just the lines are long as fuck.
It's Florida.
Oh God, that place is
So it is
hell.
All right, Jody.
All right, let's see. What I want to do. Well, I guess since we keep bouncing back into train, I guess I will train myself on that and go with swaying.
Nope.
No.
No, not for me.
Nah.
That is a good one though.
I don't know why that one wasn't really on my radar.
Because your radar's broken.
Well, I didn't say that's not true. So,
It's okay, Justin. We're here to show you how wrong you are.
yes.
You're like the kamikaze pilot that ended up in Guam.
Hey, you know what? I feel like this is naturally has to be my next selection here. Whipping Boy.
No.
I dropped that one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, bud.
I'll be your whipping boy.
Apparently, but again,
Yeah.
that is a tune that you do not expect out of Train if you've listened to their hits. You just don't expect the depth. You don't expect the lyrics. You don't expect the heavy notes of that song. It's a fantastic track. Fantastic.
I just happened to be out there on my own on it.
Yeah.
Happens.
Sorry, buddy.
That's okay. All right, James.
Do. I'll stay in the self-titled. I am.
Are you?
IR?
I am Weasel?
I am Mojo Jojo.
I are baboon.
I am not, apparently.
And I also am not. So,
Well,
oh boy,
we ain't.
we are
Honestly, this is good though.
off the rails.
This is good because a lot of these songs are those B minus C plus songs that I was talking about. They're good, but they just don't quite hit.
They don't capture it.
Yeah.
They don't capture it. All right, Jody.
Okay, dokie. I will do the last one from the self-titled to get that closed out. If You Leave.
I got it.
I do not.
I got it. That's actually also way up near the top.
Well, then if you leave, we won't notice.
Jinkies McTavish.
That was I think that was cut 23 because that's one that's just like, yep, gotta have that.
All right. You know what? I'm going to start trotting out some middle stuff here, I think.
Okay.
How about If I Can't Change Your Mind? The silence is deafening.
You can't.
All right. All right. Maybe I played myself a little too hard. All right. Into the trash it goes. James. Oops.
I'm gonna finish out self-titled. Heavy. Come on, Justin.
No.
Oh. See, that's one that I expected you to go for
I don't even see it on my master list.
because it is so grungy and delicious. And like so it's just like that like folksy blues that just comes out of nowhere and you're just like, they do what?
You make sure on my phone because maybe I didn't bring.
He didn't even hear it.
Yeah, I may not have heard it at all.
It might be one of the hidden tracks actually.
Oh, okay. Because if that's the case, then that would be the explanation.
Yeah.
And that's not my fault.
Yeah.
Can't be mad at me about that.
Didn't know there was something to look under the carpet for.
Just make sure.
Oh, look. Ooh, trapdoor. Yeah, I think it's like track 13 or 14 on the album.
Okay. Nope.
It's-
Sorry.
It's fun. I wish we still played music on this show because,
Maybe eventually.
yeah.
Maybe I'll get back to that. I have to get everything moved to this first before I can
gotcha.
even consider it.
Lawsuits are fun.
Yeah. All right. Jody.
Alrighty. Let's do this. This was actually in my final pass-throughs to swap out radio hits, and I ended up swapping a radio hit for a radio hit. But it's what happened. Cadillac, Cadillac.
I don't have it.
Okie dokie.
Nope.
That's okay. You'll at least appreciate it was Soul Sister that I took out.
I appreciate the
Yes.
absolute shit out of that.
Yes, as do I.
I'm so glad you tossed that ukulele in the freaking river where it belongs.
So
Hey,
let's
don't go hating on ukuleles like that.
It's
Yeah.
not the ukulele, but it's the ukulele.
Jeez.
yeah.
That song just comes on when you're having the worst day. Tick, 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 tick. Hey, shut the hell up.
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, if you're gonna play like ukulele, you need to kind of be Tiny Tim.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to be in a good mood for that, and it especially because it's always like the first song that they play coming out of a radio break, out of a commercial break, and it's just like, this is not what I wanted.
So thank goodness, no, it's not getting played officially. But since the song has come up in naturally in conversation, I'd like to talk about this for a second.
All right.
Let's do it.
I was completely out on one of the reasons I was out on Train was because of Hey Soul Sister. Now, Drops of Jupiter, I never liked, but it never made me be out.
Never made you cringe.
Right. So I guess, maybe like 2005, 2006, whenever this was. My wife and I went to New York for just a winter break. We went for like 3 days, and we were watching an Arrested Development marathon. And we kept seeing Nurse Jackie, I think, was the show that had Hey Soul Sister as its theme.
Oh.
And every time they would play a commercial for Nurse Jackie, which was God knows how many times that day, it was Hey Soul Sister. And by the end of that trip, I was like, whoever the hell Train is, nah,
Needs to
just
die.
no. And so that's what that
This
was.
is why I don't listen to the radio or watch broadcast television. I don't want these things to ruin stuff that I like.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Well, to be fair, I never actually liked the song either.
Okay, well, that's fair.
It just happened to get aggravated by that situation.
Dinka, 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 dinka.
Not that y'all feel a way about it or anything.
No.
That's all right. I don't really have any deep connection with that one anyway, so y'all can trash it all you want.
It's one of the few that I will. There's one other one that I really don't like, but I can't really trash.
It's okay.
So,
It'll be in my list somewhere.
so let me. I'm going to go a little later here.
Awesome.
And again, this was one of my favorites. You never say that, but this was one of my favorites of the later records.
All right.
Parachute.
Yes.
Oh.
That's one of the ones.
Yeah, right?
That did not make it through to my 20, but it was in, matter of fact, it was the second one that I cut from the 27 that first made it through.
All right.
Okay.
So it was close. You were saying, James?
I mean, that's one of the ones. It's
Yeah.
like a B minus C plus tune. It's just like, damn, this hits.
Yeah, and then like it had that Train feeling.
Yeah.
Once I came up on it, I was like, this is them. And so like it made the first pass, and then as I'm coming up on the second pass, there's like lots of stuff around it that I'm like, okay, these are okay. I like these, but something about this one.
Yes.
Something
Very
about
much
this
so.
one just it feels right. So I'm glad you had it. So we get it over to the conversation. I feel okay about
That's
that.
what's up. That's actually, I like that. I like that tune in the conversation at the very least. That's because again, if we're playing on, if we're introducing someone to the band versus what we already know of the band, that's a good one for, hey, this is also Train.
Yeah. All right, James.
I'm going to continue. I just realized this looking at this. Their first 3 albums are all about a quirky girl. I'm going to go to the second album, Drops of Jupiter. She's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have it.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm okay that it made it to the conversation though.
There's something about
bit of
that
sweat.
track that it's, you know how whenever we do this show or whenever I'm on, we always talk about that the songs that the title tracks or the first tracks that always come out and just slam. That's one of those that just comes out and it slams and it hits you right in the face. It gets you pumped up for the album. It showcases musicianship. It showcases lyrics. It showcases vocals. and it just has that authentic train sound that really, that you hear in their, the way Train, but it's not the poppy way, it's the good way.
Yeah. Now here's what I'll say about She's on Fire, because to your point, She's on Fire was one of those songs that I cut because I thought I was just disproving what I thought of them. And it's very much on that Justin vein. And so that's why I was like, well, if this is like more of a Justin song, is Train a Justin band, or is this just a Justin song? So it ended up on the cutting room floor. But a noticeable difference going from Self-Titled into Drops of Jupiter, but not in a bad way.
No. They found a new element of themselves going into that album that it kind of led the way for their other stuff. Meet Virginia was, let's produce a bunch of sounds because it's something for everybody. Drops of Jupiter was, we have a bunch of sounds, but now we're putting our underlying sound into it. And then as they get further and further, it's like, okay, here's our sound with some sprinkles.
Yes. So She's on Fire does make the conversation, and I'm glad I got to throw a little extra in there. All right, Jody.
All right, I am going to just go in a totally different direction.
All right.
Aw,
From
snap.
everything we have done before.
I like this.
Silver Dollar.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I told you up front.
I know.
I told you up front.
I know. That was a cut. That was like a late cut. That was like 24, 25.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that one was on my radar either. Which album is that?
Oh, it's A Girl, a Bottle, and a Boat.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, that album's unfortunate. Not because it's not good, just because I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's not a bad album.
Because that's 6? Or is that 7?
It's the most recent one.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
it came out in 2017.
Oh, 7. Okay, that's why. Yeah.
So it's a good record. It's a good Train record. But I think that I was able to capture what I want to portray Train as better
way before that.
way before that. Yeah. So I do have stuff from that record.
Oh, that's good, because I still have other stuff from that record.
All right. Well, let's try some of the ones that caught my ear then, since we're there. How about Working Girl?
No, that did not survive.
I tried to extend the olive branch.
Yeah, and then you whacked me with it.
Oh boy. All right, James.
I'm gonna go Drops of Jupiter again.
Hey.
They have a thing with states.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi.
Yep.
Okay, I don't have it.
That was the top of my list.
Oh.
Yeah, that Mississippi is just, that one just encapsulates everything Train is for me.
Well, now I feel bad about not giving it another listen.
It's got enough. The lyrics are fantastic. The sound is fantastic, and that's one of those. That's one of the emotional ones. That's one of the ones that pulls at whatever part of you you're currently feeling. Whether you're feeling good about life, whether you're feeling bad about life, whether you're sad, you're upset, you're frustrated, whether you're content, you're happy. It just it boosts whatever emotion is at the forefront of your brain. Because I've listened to that song in several different states of mind as far as my emotions go, and every time it speaks.
Wow. Did you want to...
Didn't mean to make that all freaking dramatic and stuff.
Well, I will say this, in the listening through of all these songs, even with the connection that so many of these songs have to me, this is the only one that got a little well up in the eyes.
Oh.
It is a really, really good song.
All right. Well, if nothing else, I now have to give it another listen. So...
Hey, we actually contributed to something positive in Justin's life for once. We accomplished our mission.
All right, Jody?
All right, let's see what kind of damage I can do to my psyche.
This whole show is that.
Oh, where do I want to go? All right, let's do this. This was one of the two albums that I actually had to make. I made a effort to put a song in from because I wanted some representation of the album. And take from this what you will. I'm not necessarily saying this is a bad thing, but this was the best representation of the album this particular album I could find. 50 Ways to Say Goodbye.
I've got it.
I don't.
Because California 37 just really didn't grab me.
No.
Yeah, I hear you.
Absolutely. They've had trouble in their last 3 albums to really snatch you up.
It's funny you put it that way because when I think about when I'm listening to it, that was the album the band almost lost me. Like I was almost going to be like, okay, fast forward. I pushed myself through it. I got through, but on the other side of California 37, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're not done. They're something, not even necessarily something else now, just not what I liked the most before.
Yeah. It's kind of like how I feel about the album that Tool just released. Please don't let this be your last album because don't go out like that.
Well, we got one into the conversation. Thank goodness, because I'm sweating over here.
I mean, we've got a conversation list. It's what, 7?
4, 5, 6, 7 plus the 1, so we have 8.
And we still got 10 rounds to go.
There's
We're
plenty
good.
of game to
We're
play.
good.
Yeah, we're
Get
fine.
2 more in, we'll be safe.
Yep. All right. Well then, how about I'll just take some wild swings here. Give it all.
That was
Another
my
cut.
second to last cut.
Wow. I thought that one was going to be immediate trash. Okay. All right, James.
Hopeless.
I am hopeless because what album is that?
That's Drops of Jupiter.
Oh, okay.
And that was the third one I cut from the 27.
Ugh. Is that trash?
That's trash. Damn. Trash.
Okay.
All right, Jody.
See, and for me, that's the thing, is the way I build my lists. If it was in the ones that I have a record of cutting it, it was already good enough to go in.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. All right. All right, let me go ahead and do the other one that I had a single one for. And I say this one similarly to 50 Ways, but with a little more positive on it. This was the best representation that I thought, but it was also good. Explanation.
Ooh.
Nope.
I don't have that one.
No.
Yeah, I guess I have to explain myself later.
That is a solid one though.
For me, it's you.
Apparently, it wasn't.
That was in my 10 cut list.
All right. All right. Let's see if I can get off it. My Private Nation. Oh, we out
The
there.
song or the album?
The
The
song.
whole album. We just played the whole album.
The song.
I hate that song.
Really?
Ouch.
Hate it.
Wow.
Hate it.
Okay.
I won't go that far, but it did not make it into 27.
Okay. I think I played myself there trying to play to what I thought Train was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's one of those ones where you're just like, we've heard this, guys.
Well, it's funny because the same reason, like the exact, I would give the same exact reason as to why I had it, is we've heard this.
Yeah.
This is what they sound like.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, that's a negative. That's funny to me.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and with it being their third album,
They should be.
it was their because it was Meet Virginia, Drops of Jupiter. Okay, what? All right, sure, we get it. Next.
All right. Well, into the trash it goes. James.
I wish you would.
I wish you would pick a song. Jeez.
I wish you would do your job.
Oh.
I got it.
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't have it.
Okay, convo.
Yeah.
All right.
Combo at this point is
Solid.
positive. Is a positive. All right, Jody.
Okay, let's see here.
Only one all the way through, just as a...
The first one we did.
Yeah.
Set that up, and then that was it. All right, so I'm going to go back to that most recent album. Because, again, kind of a little different than everything else. And a part of me kind of wanted to say that this was somehow partially a cover or taken from another song. Valentine. I know it wasn't, but it felt like it
Yeah.
was. It's like it felt like it came from somewhere else.
Yeah, did not have it.
I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure that one was like a later cut. Just to ease your mind a little.
Yeah, whatever. You ain't got to explain yourself to me, Justin. Well, okay, I mean, you kind of
should.
do a little bit because it's part of the show, but you
Yes.
don't have to.
I will, from now on, not explain any of my choices.
I have decreed, and this is all that there will be. Hey,
Let me go a little different here.
Aw, snap.
The finish line.
No.
Sound wise, I don't think I had anything else like it, and I was just like, it's interesting that this is something that they can do well.
Yeah.
So, all right, into the trash it goes, though. James,
I'm going to finish out the Drops of Jupiter album. Finally. Getaway.
nope.
no.
Okay. That was the one I put in instead of Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jody.
All right, well, I've got two more left from Drops of Jupiter. I actually had to put significant effort to take stuff out from Drops of Jupiter because I wanted to play almost the entire album.
Right.
So I'm going to go and do this one, save the higher ranked one for last so I can hurt myself more later.
Oof.
Something More.
Nope. Nope.
9.
I'll save you the heartbreak. I don't have anything else from that record.
Me
All right,
neither.
well, then let me go ahead and throw the other one out here so we can just get rid of that. Let It Roll.
Oh.
No.
I feel so bad now.
Just
Because just like you, I wanted to throw that entire album into my list.
as an aside, I always like notating stuff like this because it says something about the band / the record. The only song not played from Drops of Jupiter, It's About You. Everything else from that record got played.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah, just
I mean, that's them, though. That's the
do with that information what you will.
quintessential.
That track didn't make it into my 27 because I knew I'd cut it. That was no, I'm going to cut this, so I'm not going to do that to myself. I just didn't
Yeah.
put it in.
Yeah. All right. Okay, how about this one?
Yeah.
Your Every Color. I always love that silence.
Just whatever color the trash category is, that would be it.
It's an orange.
Oh, well then, that would be the color.
Okay. We need one more.
Oh,
One
man.
more here. All right.
All right, I'm just going to go with it. For the third Sing About a Quirky Girl song,
Mm-hmm.
All American Girl.
I got it.
Hey!
That was number 27.
Oh. Well, it makes the conversation. We're officially out of New Trash Protocol. NTP is done. That is the audible sigh of relief.
And that one actually was cut because I had 2 Quirky Girl songs already.
There you go. Can you tell there's a theme with me?
Perhaps.
I like your quirks, girl. How you doing?
All right, I'm down to my last 5. I don't know where y'all are at, but I got 5 left.
I got 7.
Wow. Okay. You want to trot one out there, Jody? See what you got?
Okay, let's see what I have here left.
Yeah, I have 7 as well.
All
going on
right.
here?
Well, I will go ahead and play the last thing I have from A Girl, A Bottle, A Boat. The News.
You're the news.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis.
Well, yeah, that's a different show. Maybe we should do that.
I think I put it up there. 'Cause-
Oh, well, I'll look and see because I think I would have signed up for that.
All right, so that one goes into the trash.
Tutor Tarsh.
Man. Okay. Where do I go then? How about I'll just stay right at the top. Get out!
Okay, fine. If that's what you want us to do.
It's
but
always
the
my
show's
favorite.
not over yet.
There's so much silence. Always my favorite.
Well, I'm looking at my list. I have 2 songs on my list that start with the word get.
Oh, really?
And neither of them are get out. So apparently they like using the word get
Bizarre.
in their track
Bizarre.
listings.
Very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, James.
I'm going to go with the last one, or the second one that's on my list, and it starts with get to me.
Nope.
Yet.
Oh, man.
No.
Just get to me.
All right.
Just get to me. I thought that was a surefire one. That hurts a little.
Nope. You wrong, Jack.
I see this.
All right. Jody?
Let's see. Okay, so I have... okay, that's cool. I have 2 from My Private Nation. I have 2 from Save Me San Francisco and 2 from Bulletproof Picasso. All right, we'll just start at the top and work our way down. Title track, Save Me San Francisco.
No.
I have it.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Well, now we officially have a conversation
We
here,
officially
too.
have a combo. Yeah, that was the one besides Parachute from that album. I was like, okay, well, I think you have to have one of those dink-a-dink-a-dink-a-dink songs. If I was going to have a dink-a-dink song, it was going to be that dink-a-dink song. So I took that dink-a-dink song instead of the other dink-a-dink song.
All right. So eloquently put, James.
But everybody knew what I was talking about, so I want to
Yes,
hear it.
indeed. All right. How about
Unless they skipped a minute 40.
Don't Grow Up So Fast?
Late cut.
No.
Nope.
Okay. James?
Save the day.
Nope.
No.
No, okay.
Jody?
All right, so I'll go ahead and do the other one from Save Me. This Ain't Goodbye.
Nope.
Nah.
Oh, boy. How about, I'll just stay right at the top. All I Hear.
No.
For me, it's you. James?
This one is another one of those B minus C plus songs that I keep talking about. Following Rita.
Nope.
No.
Oh man, I would have thought that would have been up your alley, Justin.
It may have been.
I really think that's one of those ones that should have been like, okay,
He's
where'd
probably
that?
defeating himself again.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, clearly it happens a lot with a band I'm not necessarily familiar with. All right. Jody? I'm down to my last 2, y'all.
All right, so let's do this. The Bridge.
No.
Nope.
I thought not. Given what all the other stuff you all did not have, I figured that was going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You Better Believe.
9.
Nah.
Off the more recent record.
Mm-hmm.
All right, James.
Here's my sappy When I Look to the Sky.
Yup.
Oh.
All right. Where's that?
My Private Nation.
Okay.
It's the last one on the album. When I look to the side.
You know what? I want to say that one was. I definitely made my first
with me.
cut. I couldn't tell you at this
I
point
can always find my way
why
over
it
here.
didn't remain around. But all right, so that makes the conversation.
Cool.
Jody.
Alrighty. So these are all radio hits of one degree or another. Angel and Blue Jeans.
Oh, that was? I had no idea.
It wasn't like big, but it got a fair bit of play for a while.
What is that one?
Angel and
Blue
Jeans.
Jeans.
It
What
didn't-
album was that?
It's Bulletproof Picasso.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, that album.
that one.
I actually like that song, and obviously radio play had nothing to do with my decision to cut it. I just, honestly, at this point, I can't even recall why I cut it. But
Yeah.
all right, my last one here, When the Fog Rolls In.
Oh,
That sounds like a late cut. That's
Or,
the sound of
I
late
Hate It.
cut. Oh, well, yeah.
no, that's a late cut.
Oh, okay.
That's a
It's one of the few that I really enjoyed on California 37. So, all right, James,
I have two. They're both from me
just
to, from me to
bouncing
you.
bouncing
Cab.
back out. Cab. Nope.
And Skyscraper,
Oh,
which I expected you would have had.
If I had to guess, it was 21. If I had to guess, it was 21. God, I loved Skyscraper.
Such a good song.
But yet again, I'm pretty sure like that's the third one where I was like, I think I'm going. This is too me.
Yeah.
Dang.
Nah, man. That's quintessential. That's must listen to train choo choo.
I was right, but I was wrong. You want to clear out what you got left, Jody?
All I got left is Calling All Angels.
That's one of the.
That's the other one.
Okay, so I don't hate that one the same way, but that's one of those ones where like I didn't like it as much as I did listening to Drops of Jupiter, but I also didn't hate it like I do Hey Soul Sister.
I always hated that song, and partially because of the fact I couldn't sing it.
Oh.
But yeah, it's one of those songs that never comes on at the right time, and it never like it just it's an obnoxious note. It is an absolutely obnoxious note, and it makes me want to scrape chalkboards with my fingernails.
Well, so you can fight back against it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It hurts my ears.
All right, fair.
Now, there was one other song that I would have fought against. Play that song. It didn't. Oh, I hate it. I hate that song. It's like, how do you make chopsticks? How do you do that? Why? And why? More importantly,
Why would you do that?
I heard that the first time, and apparently, I don't know. I guess there's like a meaning behind it or something. But at the same time, nah, man, don't. Just don't.
You could not, and that'd be great.
Dissonance.
That is one of those. I don't hate it, but I am never going to cue that song.
Nah. Brah.
It's like I didn't even have to play it
Yeah.
in this pass through to know that it was not going to make it. It's like, nope. I know you do not belong.
I think there was two easy outs, obviously. Hey Soul Sister and that for me. Those were the ones I knew. There's no chance. I'm not even going to listen. They don't stand a chance. None. Zero.
And what, like, for me, those two, and then Calling All You Angels, what do they all have in common? A really fucking annoying note. And it's like it's not an A, it's like a E sharp that I'm just like, yeah, cringe. Peter Griffin in over here. I don't like it. No.
You think that's weird? All right.
As a matter of fact, I do.
So Meet Virginia is the only one we got in all the way.
Hey.
Which is again, well, I think part of this is the 8 albums because clearly
There's a lot to go through.
right, and there's a lot that were near misses for each of us, and it was just we had almost all of one whole record, like all the way, like so. I think we just all picked from different. So that's the name of the game.
We tried to
Justin,
play
and
the
all.
game, and we tried to play each other, and in the end, we all played ourselves.
Yes, but
We got
gosh.
played.
we got to make a couple more cuts here.
Oh, snap. Can you make this list over here look? Because I'm seeing like
A lot.
5 songs, but then I'm seeing like free added to conversation list, blah, 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 added to conversation
yeah.
list.
Here. Let's see.
He wants organization, Justin.
Me?
There
Organize?
isn't. Organization, Justin, does not exist.
This is true.
Now, the Justin Organization is a wonderful childhood cancer retreat. Wait a
right.
minute.
Is that a little bit more better?
Much more better. I appreciate it.
All right, let me archive these so we don't have to look at those.
50
failures.
Ways to Say Goodbye is on there twice, though.
Oh, oops.
on that list.
There we go.
Not to be that guy, but I'm that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we got. Meet Virginia all the way through. And let me put these via album too, so we can look at it that way.
Chronologically, even?
Let's see, I think next would be
Yellow.
this. Yeah, yellow is still here.
And then orange.
Orange. And then these two.
Parachute and what else?
Save Me San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because California 37 would be this
Yep.
blue one. All right, so look, I'll already say this: Mississippi's not getting cut. Judging by James' reaction and what, there's no way that's getting cut.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I didn't give it the full, and clearly it didn't catch me. But judging, if it can be that emotional in just discussion, then it has to go through.
I'm down.
All right, so now let's look at the rest of these to get our 8. So we've got Free, If You Leave, Drops of Jupiter, I Wish You Would, She's on Fire, All American Girl, When I Look to the Sky, Parachute, Save Me San Francisco, 50 Ways to Say Goodbye. Anything jumping out at you there, Jody? That's either you're willing to sacrifice or you want to fall on the sword for.
We got to cut 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He counts loudly into the microphone.
Hey, Justin can count. 1
To 10.
2 train songs.
Yes, we need to drop 2. So if there's one that you need through, or one that you feel like at this point doesn't really belong.
Well, honestly, if I was going to do away with any of the songs that were mine, 50 Ways would be the one. Because that was I wanted a representation from this album, and this was the best I could find from this album.
Which doesn't say a lot about that album or the band.
Yeah,
Not that it's a bad song.
No, it's
obviously.
not. I enjoy it. It's interesting. It's kind of fun, but
If the best thing I can say is that this one was...
it was the best one off this album is the best thing I can say.
Yeah.
When it was the only song I had on the album.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now, with taking that into consideration, James, is there anything that you're looking at that could hit the cutting room floor?
I have 2.
Okay.
In order, what I would cut first, Save Me San Francisco.
Okay.
And then I would cut She's on Fire.
All right. How are you feeling about that, Jody?
How many do we need to cut out?
We need
here?
to lose
we
one.
just need 1.
Well, I would very much not want to lose She's on Fire.
Okay. So
Okay.
of those 2, you'd be
So
more
I would
apt
let
to...
go of Save Me San Francisco.
Would you do that because it's been offered up, or looking at what we have? Oh. Is it the right decision? I can't just let you off easy like that.
I realize that. It wouldn't be the first choice of ones to cut for me, but it would be among the first few that I would want to cut. So, and since I already cut one out,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, this wouldn't be my top cut, but yeah, I'm okay with letting it go.
All right.
There's other stuff that we've got in here that this sound is represented with. So,
Okay. You know what? Mine would have been Drops of Jupiter, but I think we all know why.
right.
So, okay. Let's lose Save Me San Francisco.
Well, now that you say that,
Uh-oh.
if I'm being honest, if we're
You were
playing
being
the
before?
I didn't even think about it, this
Uh-oh.
potential thing. If I'm being honest, if we're playing the game, if we're playing the introducing game, not the this band from this song game, Drops of Jupiter is the perfect cut. Because Save Me San Francisco brings that same sound, but it's something different, and it's a different album representation because we already have 3 other songs from Drops of Jupiter that have a similar sound to Drops of Jupiter and represent that album really, really well.
And plus, like we said earlier, I mean, maybe they know them for like Calling All Angels or play that song or Hey Soul Sister at this point, but Drops of Jupiter is still Train to most people.
And this is a introduce somebody to the band, not a, hey, here's this band's top 10 best songs.
Right.
And as much as I don't really want to do this to myself because I really, really like Drops of Jupiter, if I were, like I said, there were other songs that I would cut before Save Me San Francisco. This is one I would have cut before Save Me San Francisco.
Okay.
Because like that was the other song that had that sound.
Yeah.
It's just that I like Drops of Jupiter more than I like Save Me San Francisco.
Right.
But yes, if we're trying to do the thing that we're here to do, then Drops of Jupiter would be it. I just wasn't going to offer that up because I want to keep the song.
Sometimes we do it for selfish reasons.
Yes, we do.
Like, I didn't even consider Drops of Jupiter until you said something, and I went, hold on, light bulb.
Yeah. Well, again,
That's a great call.
well, and I want to put this out here too. I didn't want to cut it because it's Drops of Jupiter, but also because it's Drops of Jupiter. Like,
That makes perfect sense.
yeah, it ended up being a song that I actually enjoy now, which is insane considering where I started with that song, my relationship with that song with this band. So, all right, so here we go. Here's a 10.
This was
All right.
this was a relatively easy conversation.
Yeah, well, we didn't get much through.
Well,
So
we got
but
enough
it wasn't,
through to not have to fight about it.
Yeah,
and it wasn't Def Leppard dumb. You're not throwing things at Jody and I.
that's true. So here's our 10. Meet Virginia, Mississippi, Free, If You Leave, I Wish You Would, She's on Fire, When I Look to the Sky, All American Girl, Parachute. That one surprises me a little, even though I loved it. The fact that got
I'm
through
happy.
makes
I'm
me really happy.
super happy that one's in there.
And then Save Me San Francisco. That's our 10. Jody, I'm putting you on the hot seat.
All right. Well, it's okay because I came in here knowing what I was going to say.
Okay.
Mississippi.
All right. Were we doing this when, I don't know if we were doing this.
The best track?
It's the one track. Yes.
The one that goes up against all of the others for the year that Fredo's going to go, you picked that one, dudes? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
We're pissing Fredo off?
Yeah,
This
that's
makes
what
me
all this
happy.
is about. This is to take the heat off of Justin and make Fredo hate us.
Yes.
And if it helps, my second choice for that would have been When I Look to the Sky.
Okay. This is the one that if you only have one song
I had one song
of
to
these
listen
10.
to.
One song that go up against all the other songs that are going to get, all the other bands that are going to get covered this year.
Mm-hmm.
This represents Train.
That's hard.
Yes, I know.
It always is. That's why it's a hot seat.
I have a top 3.
Okay.
No, I have a top 4. Shit. You know what?
Trot them out there, and then we'll
Meet
walk
Virginia,
through it.
Mississippi, Free, and Parachute.
Okay. All right. I can't necessarily advocate for Mississippi because it was outside of my.
Yeah.
My first thought was Meet Virginia. Number one, because we got it through unanimously. Number two, because of the complete 180 I did on the song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went from thinking I despised it to actually really freaking enjoying it. So
Also, kind of describes your wife really, really well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I would not stand in the way of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Again, being in the room and seeing the way you two reacted, talking about that song.
It seems like the obvious choice, but it's, for me, looking at this, these are 4 songs that have 4 different sounds. Mm-hmm. These are the 4 sounds of Train. Meet Virginia is is their early stuff. It's their poking fun at stuff. Like Drops of Jupiter poked fun at certain topics. Mm-hmm. And Meet Virginia does the same thing. Mississippi, again, emotions and everything. Free brings out the range of the band. It brings out their high end. This is the one song in this whole list that's like got really that, and She's on Fire, big notes. Just I think Free is a better song because it's more personal than it is about the girl. And then Parachute brings in their underlying B-C+ songs that you're like, man, I didn't know that they had this.
Mhm.
So these are the 4 sounds that I love about the band. If I had to pick one that they are, though,
Ultimately, I guess the question is, would you describe Train as an emotional band? If Jody's offering up Mississippi, then they're leading with emotion.
yeah.
Would you agree with the sentiment that Train is an emotional band? Even though they do offer up plenty of different things.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Then let's go with Mississippi.
Okay.
Like I said, I won't stand in the way. I saw what it did to you.
Yeah, man.
So-
I mean, it's because I like the band in all of its forms. That is a hard choice when I'm staring it in the face. 'Cause
Literally.
I can hear, and the funny part is like each quadrant of my brain is playing a different part of the song, or of each of those songs right now, and I'm just like, nah, ADHD. all over
That
the place.
right there is why I don't play the songs anymore, because it never helps. It never, ever helps.
Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
So we're going to go with Mississippi as our number one with a bullet. We have Meet Virginia, Free, Parachute, If You Leave, I Wish You Would, She's on Fire, When I Look to the Sky, All American Girl, and Save Me San Francisco rounds out the 10.
That's a good list.
It's a good list, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, is Train one of my favorite bands ever? No. Are they a band that I'm going to go to frequently? Probably not that either, but they're not what I thought they were. It's not quite the complete flip like Nickelback was like, I hate Nickelback, and okay, they're acceptable.
That's not exactly a complete flip.
Whereas
much as he
that's a
hated
90.
Nickelback?
Yeah,
Right.
No, it
that's
actually was.
Okay, fine. He gets 100 degrees out of 180.
Whereas if I had to compare the two, Train would be probably like 130. Like I enjoyed most of what I listened to with Train. Like
Yeah.
they're a good band. So and if you like a lot of that late 90s alt-ish sound,
Yes.
there's no way you won't like Train.
Yes.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
Guess what I like?
All right, so let's talk about it, Jody.
Yeah.
KMFDM eventually will happen, I think.
You keep telling me
Bjork.
this.
Bjork is KM to FDM is just the amount of music.
Yeah, we just have so many albums that
Yeah. So it's like, well, where do we settle? And then Bjork, I don't know if we'll ever get around to Bjork. Not for the same reasons. There's a lot of music, but it's like you can't really
I know.
pin it down.
You can't, because every single album is a completely new, not just a new experience in the music, but it's a new segment of her life and her musical journey. She starts over from scratch on every album.
So it's like, how do you
pick?
How do you pare that down?
Yeah.
So, but I know you're on Yes, which will happen eventually.
Cool.
Some point over the next couple months, I'm sure. And then I know you offered up. What did you just recently jump on? Like there was a Stabbing Westward.
Yes.
That's the one I was thinking about. And then I'm pretty sure there's a couple other ones. I just don't have
there
them
are.
memorized.
They're not on coming up to me either, but yeah.
And I believe, if I remember 5 minutes ago, you said you'd be up for Huey Lewis in the News.
I would indeed.
All right. So
And
if I put that up there,
I think
then
at some point, I just want to, like, as a future, whenever maybe you don't have an arranged episode, we're clearly never going to get a third person. We should just probably sit down and maybe we can just make it a Patreon bonus to sit down and do a chat about Fighting Gravity.
okay. All right. Maybe we just change like how the discussion happens instead.
Right. We're not doing necessarily building a list. We're just
I'd just be discovering the band essentially, and then we'll talk about maybe we'll do that because you're right. It's been up there for
Ever.
a year and a half, 2 years, something.
It
was one of the first bands you
it was
offered
the first
up.
one I had. It was
Yeah.
the first one I offered up.
And nobody's jumped on it.
No.
Now, part of that is probably because their music isn't on Spotify.
Right. You've to get it streaming, you have all of their albums. You actually have to have Apple Music.
Yeah.
They're the only streaming source that has everything.
So it's like, I mean, that would be at least my part of the reason why I haven't pushed them, because I've been waiting for that to happen, but it ain't gonna happen.
Well, it's not going to happen because the first 3 albums that they did as Fighting Gravity were self-releases, because they started their career as Boy Oh Boy, and they formed Bob Records. And when they changed their name from Boy Oh Boy to Fighting Gravity, they released their first 3 under Boy Oh Boy, Bob Records. And then they got signed onto Mercury. And so then they started releasing stuff on Mercury, and that's the stuff you can find on streaming services.
Okay.
That's also what killed the band. Because they were a ska world beat band, and Mercury tried to turn them into a rock band.
Oh. God,
But it's okay.
Labels.
They've come back together, and they are touring pretty much all the time now, doing all of their pre-Mercury record stuff.
That's cool.
Now, James,
Yeah.
is 311 one of yours?
311's one of mine.
So Please Explain for 311.
Bow, went to bow, 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 bow.
Is there a do you have a panel for that yet?
I think I think Ronald said he would, but I don't know if he really was saying he would, or if he wanted somebody to explain 311 to him.
Yeah.
Well, if you're actually looking for another person rather than another person to be explained to, I'll do it.
Okay. All right.
It's not like a high list band for me, but I've got a pretty good background with them.
Okay.
I'll do it.
All right.
Yeah.
And we didn't kill each other, so
No, this was great.
Yes. I'm trying to think of because you've kind of been out of the loop.
Yep.
Because of life.
Sublime.
So you missed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured
that was the first episode
that's
I did.
right.
Yeah.
I did. Avenged Sevenfold,
Okay.
and then Rise Against.
Actually, I think all those are up. I think those are up there. So I'll check and I'll add you to those.
Yep.
And, I won't throw you into heavy rotation here, but I'll keep you in mind. So
I mean, honestly, like I missed this.
Me too. I missed it.
missed pulling away from the microphone, so my heavy Darth Vader breathing didn't go into the mic the whole time.
at least you're smart enough to do that.
I
want 46 and
try.
2. 46 and 2.
I mean, when you sit there and listen to Corey after a hoagie eating fest or eating, 3 packs
O'Neal.
of donuts, good Lord, man.
O'Neal.
God,
All right, so with that though, I think we did a really good job here with Train. I feel like we got a good list here. And look, hard work works. This episode is the proof. We worked really hard, and it worked. We came away with 10 songs for you to get into the band.
Hey,
Would you say that we worked hard so they don't have to?
That's exactly how I would say it.
that's
And
fantastic.
If you want to work hard on your fitness, Jack, Hard Work Works fitness app, you can get it on the Google Play or the Apple Store. $10 a month, workouts, everything I said at the beginning, it applies here. Also, patreon.com/oh hi Justin. If you dig this show enough to part with $1 a month, that would be cool.
Oh, hi.
That would be really cool if you wanted to do that. You don't have to, obviously. But if you wanted to do that, I would greatly appreciate that. With that being said, Train. Learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Adios.